Hi everybody. This video is to share some information that I came across recently that totally shocked me, okay? I was very puzzled. Well, this posting is in Portuguese, but if you access this, which I'm going to put the link below in the description of this video, you can, if you access this web page using the Edge web browser, there is an automatic translator in the address bar of the browser. You can click, there is a little microphone in there. You can click and it will read the page for you, but it will also read in the language that you decide that you want, okay? Or you can simply translate the page and you read for yourself. I usually prefer to hear the page. I let the AI read it for me. All right. Well, I recently discovered that my sunline changed, and I had a sunline, I still have above the heart line in my hand. And I noticed that it changed. It grew and it became stronger. So I was very puzzled with this, and I decided to investigate. And I found out that it's actually a snake symbol. And that completely shocked me. I had no idea. And I became more convinced, not only because it's undoubtful, but also because my horoscope confirms this, because I have Rahu in my third house in Cancer, in the nakshatra of Ashlesha, at 24 degree, okay, in Ashlesha. So this was very amazing discovery to me. So I wrote this blog. I took pictures of my own hand. I have an unmarked picture and a picture with a mark. And then I wrote here the explanation of this, what it means, and how this is connected with the stories that we read and hear in Hinduism, and also how it's all connected with my own birth horoscope, with my birth chart. And so I'm not so amazed now, but at first when I discovered this, I was totally beyond myself. I was like, oh my God. And then of course I want to know the meaning, and the meaning of a snake in your month of sun specifically means evolution, expansion, creative expansion, and rebirth, and artistic rebirth. I mean, this is totally consistent with the book that I finished writing about palmistry, Vedic palmistry in Portuguese, which is a transliteration of the tricentennial book that Comte of Saint Germain wrote 300 years ago, and I came across this book and became my favorite reading book in Vedic palmistry, which he learned in India, okay? And then he wrote the information in this, I don't even know, more than 500 pages book, could be more than 500. And then as I study, I started making my own notations, and my Brazilian folks, because I was born in Brazil, so Portuguese is my first language. I started sharing the information with my Brazilian folks, family members and friends and whoever that showed up in I had a channel with close to 60,000 subscribers, and all I talked about was Vedic palmistry and Vedic astrology, but mainly Vedic palmistry, because I'm still learning Vedic astrology. I don't think I will ever quit learning. It's so much to learn, and I am an eternal student of the Vedic teachings, okay? But anyway, as I was reading, about this, I was very amazed because I can confirm all these meanings in my own horoscope, okay? And that's what convinces me that it is indeed a snake symbol. There is no doubt about it, right? There is no doubt about it. And everything is connected. I also have a drum symbol, and in this link here, if you click, you can go see it. And I also have a trident at the end of my Saturn line. All right. So all this is connected to Shiva, which is Saturn, which is my favorite planet. I am a Taurus ascendant, and all the help I received in my life, all the folks that supported me since my childhood, they all are people with predominantly Saturnian energy in them. So all this is very amazing to me. But you can come here if you want, and like I said, use Edge browser, and then it will automatically translate. Well, not automatically. You have to click the, it's like a microphone icon in the address bar. You can click it, and it will read the page for you in the language that you want, okay? Or just translate the text, okay? And Shiva is connected with the snake, with the trident, and the moon, because he's the one who helped the moon when the moon was cursed by Brihaspati, right? Jupiter, because of the complaint of the sisters Nakshatras that were jealous of Rohini because Moon spent more time with Rohini, which it still does to this day, right? And all this is connected. I mean, I am blown away, okay? I cannot even describe. I'm blown away by all this information that I'm coming across. And he's Vishnu connected to all this. And then he rests on a snake with 7 heads, which is Shesha. Oh my God, all this totally blew me away, okay? And I have Rahu in Ashlesha in my horoscope, okay? In Cancer, in my 3rd house, all right? At 24 degrees of Cancer. And I created a book in Portuguese of this tricentennial book that I read by Saint Germain, and which I transliterated. I'm not going to say I translated, because I use my own words. I organized the information in my own way. Okay, but the book was the source of my learning, my main source. I read other books, but quite frankly, this was my favorite. For whatever reason, I became attached to that book almost immediately. Actually, my guru of shamanism, he explains to me, before you buy a book, he taught me that before you buy a book or before you pick a book to read, go over with your hand on the book and see how you feel. And the one that feels best to you, that's the book you want to read, okay? And that's exactly how I did it. And I pick up the Saint Germain book. And then I didn't realize it was a tricentennial book. It was just, my intention was just to study the subject. But then as I made notations, it became a book, my notations. And then I started doing the notations in Portuguese, because a lot of my Portuguese friends and family members and the folks on YouTube, they all became highly interested. Actually, it became my most viewed videos when I started sharing some of the initial information in my learning. I started making videos and sharing on this my channel that grew so much because so many people became interested. And then I ended up creating this over 700-page book that became, which I call a manual. It's a manual in Vedic astrology in Portuguese. And it's all based in this Saint Germain tricentennial book. Again, in my own words, with my own organization. I didn't follow his organization completely, and I didn't use 100% of his information, but it's all based in that. And very little, like 10% in sundry other books that I read and where I learned, and I added a few sprinkles information here and there, all right? Okay, but anyway, so the point here of this video actually is about this change in my sun line explained. That's how I titled this, change in the line of sun explained, which is it's a symbol of a serpent. Okay, and I am like blown away by this. I cannot even explain. But yeah, so I decided to make this video in English just in case somebody that doesn't understand Portuguese and doesn't want to just read the captioning, because you can automatically translate here on YouTube, then you can just watch this English version of more or less what I said in my Portuguese version, okay? Alright, well, I hope this was helpful somehow, and until the next one, bye for now.